Hey, thanks for coming to check out Brebuff today. I wanted to take a couple of minutes and go through the chemistry behind the chemical reaction that you just did. So, the first thing you tried was to put solid calcium chloride with solid sodium bicarbonate or baking soda together. And yeah, that's about it, right? No reaction. But once we put that phenol red with it, then something else actually happened. So, what was it about the phenol red? Well, phenol red is mostly water. So, the calcium chloride and the sodium bicarbonate dissolved inside of the water, and instead of it being a solid, it is now an aqueous solution. Once we put them together as an aqueous solution, now we got a reaction. So let's go over some of this chemical reaction. Let's see what actually formed in here. So the calcium chloride and the sodium bicarbonate or baking soda formed some water, some salt, sodium chloride. I noticed they're aqueous, so that means it's dissolved inside of that water. Then also carbon dioxide and a solid that we'll talk about a little bit later called calcium carbonate. So here's this list of the chemical reactions that you talked about earlier today. And of this list, we have 4 of them that took place in this chemical reaction. Let's go through each one of them. So the production of a gas. In this case, the product that was a gas was the carbon dioxide. How do we know that we got a gas? Bubbles. Cute little fish. So the color change that we observed also has to do with this carbon dioxide gas. This color change should look kind of familiar to you because you saw it earlier or something like it earlier when we did the demos beforehand. So the phenol red that you used is what we call an acid-base indicator. It changes yellow or orange in the presence of an acid. So just like in the demo, our reaction created an acid. Now, this carbon dioxide is not an acid by itself, but when carbon dioxide is dissolved inside of water, we get something called carbonic acid. Now, this is a really important chemical reaction that we could go into a lot right now, but I'll simplify it down here just a little bit. We as humans have been doing a wonderful job, sarcastically, of putting large amounts of carbon dioxide into our atmosphere through the burning of fossil fuels. Now, our ocean does a great job of pulling that carbon dioxide out, but this reaction still takes place. So we're actually creating carbon dioxide, or I'm sorry, we're creating carbonic acid inside of our oceans. And right now, that can kind of lead to ocean acidification and the destruction of coral reefs. We could spend a lot of time on this, but not right now. Come to Rebuff, take environmental science. We will. The next one that we're looking at is a change in temperature. When you felt the bottom of that bag, you probably felt a little warmth in it, right? So this is called an exothermic reaction. Exothermic. Exo meaning out, right? Thermic meaning heat. So an exothermic reaction is a chemical reaction in which energy is constantly given off, normally in the form of heat, which it is here. So the last one is the formation of a precipitate. So a precipitate is a solid that forms from a solution. We have a solution here, and the solid that forms is called calcium carbonate. Now, you couldn't see this forming because of our color change, so I went ahead and put together a little video here so we could see what this looks like. So I dissolved them inside of the water, mixed them here. You can see this white solution. Let that set for a little while, and there's that solid calcium carbonate. So, in review, we had bubbles, formation of a gas. We had a color change, which this case happened to be the carbon dioxide forming carbonic acid. We had an exothermic reaction, change in temperature, and then we had the formation of a precipitate.